Hi everyone, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today my special guest is Peter Butler, the Managing Director of Smarter Websites in Perth, Australia. Peter, how are you going?
Mate, I am great. Good to be on the call with you, Scott.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, so what we're talking about today, SEO and websites, it's a little bit different to what we normally talk about on this show, but I mean, as we were sort of discussing earlier, everybody needs a website and everybody that's running a funnel obviously can benefit from SEO. So there's plenty of stuff that we can talk about. So anyway, let's sort of go right back to the beginning when you started, which looking on your website was about 2006. So just tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into websites and marketing in general.
Okay, cool. Good question. My previous industry was landscaping. And you can see the obvious introduction, right? Not. And ironically enough, while I was in that industry, I actually didn't realise at the time that I actually had a natural flair for marketing. And I targeted all the rich people. So all of my clients either had ocean views or river views. Now, you got those sorts of views, you got a lot more money. And what my figuring was that whatever crap went down in the world, I would be the last one affected because they were the last one affected. Made sense to me. And so I targeted them. I didn't even really think it was marketing. It just was common sense to me. So that's how I ended up in that industry. And then I sold that in 2006, as you mentioned. Took a year off, didn't know what I wanted to do, but figured I was good at marketing. And one of the problems I had when I was in that industry was trying to get a website built. Nobody was organised, nobody was structured, they didn't have systems. I never built a website, I never completed it, and I tried 3 times. And I thought, this can't be that hard. So I actually took that whole year and I bought a license for a particular CMS, content managed system, which was launching audiobooks. And there's an interesting business model. These guys did a big marketing campaign. You'd totally appreciate this. Big launch, right, for this D-Day of launching 1,000 audiobook licenses for $1,000 US. So I signed up and I bought one of those. So they made $1 million in one day launching these websites. It was freaking epic to look back, knowing now what I know about marketing. And they had a cool subscription model. I think it was 50 US a month, so 1,000 times 50, a lot of money they're making. And this CMS meant you could buy other domains, duplicate the website and niche it for particular domains. So for a whole year, and remember, I didn't know anything about tech at all. And so totally self-taught, and I locked myself away literally for a whole friggin' year, 7 days a week mostly, and learned about CMS systems, learned about SEO, and it was the best grounding ever. The problem I had, as far as business model goes, was that's the same time that iTunes was launched in a really big way. So we were competing against them, and with digital management licenses and all that. It was all sorts of issues. Anyway, it was a good grounding, got me started. I actually started with mortgage brokers, and I sold a couple of really high-level mortgage broker not just websites, but whole lead generation platforms. The trouble is that was in 07, 08 by then, and there's not much pain. If there's not much pain in an industry, then they're not searching to spend money to solve a problem that doesn't exist. So in the meantime, lots of other people asked me about websites, and so Smarter Websites was born. Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've got on to Smarter Websites, tell us a little bit about that, and also the modular system that you offer as well.
Yeah, look, when I started, I only wanted to do premium level websites. I didn't, that was my focus. I wanted to do high-end stuff. And what actually happened, how the whole modularized system came about, was people would come and see me and I'd say, well, look, our website started, it was $5,000 at that stage. And we were selling lots of, 8, 10, 12, 16 grand gigs. And don't forget, this is going back to 07.
Yeah.
But then lots of people only had a $2,000 startup, budget. And I was literally turning them away. And then a year or two later, they would come back and that's right, I need to upgrade. But in the meantime, they'd spent their $2,000. So we had to start from scratch. And I thought there's got to be a better way. So we evolved a system where we've got literally our premium websites, which start at 6,600, but we've got 3 startup websites at 1,100, 22 and 3,300. And then we developed our lifetime guarantee upgrade guarantee. So, somebody can buy an $1,100 website, and this has happened so many times, in under 12 months they're back. They want to upgrade to a $3,000 level because they understand they need to get more elements on the site.
Yeah.
And so they only ever have to pay the difference. So they're not wasting their money. So that's how the modularized component was born. And then we've got other modules like, social media, Google friendly stuff, and a whole heap of other modules which help the website to perform better. And so people can scale up from there.
Okay, interesting. So what sort of niche market are you targeting? You mentioned high-end clients. Does that describe it pretty well? Or?
Yeah, look, if it's a general thing, and like when you niche into a particular industry or niche, it makes marketing so much simpler, and you'd know that, the funnel man. But we need to remain broad. So my overview there is business owners with ugly baby websites, because nobody wants to be told they got an ugly baby. But oh my God, there's some horror websites, and it's not just about aesthetics. It's not about a graphically gorgeous website. Yeah. It's about a website that is literally just an online brochure, and it doesn't engage. It doesn't get any interactions. It probably doesn't even get any traffic, so we need to do Google stuff. So it is a broad market, but I do love helping people, startups, to get online. And they need to realise that their website is dynamic. It's not just, I've got a website, that's the end of it, and sit there and wait, poised, hand over the phone. It's a matter of, realising that, okay, I've now got a website. Now I need to consider, I need to drive traffic to the website, or I now do incorporate social media, or I need to do more stuff with Google, and realising that, a website is a living, breathing thing, literally.
Yeah, an organism, basically, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is it mainly Australian customers that you've got, or is there anyone from overseas?
Look, we it is mainly Australian. We have done a couple of sites for people in the UK, a couple in the US as well, but it is mainly Australia. And it's not, even though we're based in Perth, we're not limited to Perth. We actually run 4 servers. We've got 2 servers in Perth. We've got 2 servers in Sydney. But it's it's an online world, so we can work anywhere.
Yeah, fair enough. So I've actually been to your offices there, the beautiful offices that you built recently. So including yourself, how many team members do you have? Because it's quite a large office.
Yeah, look, it is. We, so there's 7, including myself. So I've got 6 team members now. Now, remember, I started on my own. I then got a part-time tech 2 days a week, and then took him to 3 days a week. And now I've got 4 full-time staff and 2 part-time staff as well. So, I've got SEO people, marketers, designers, tech, web developers. So and we've got a great team. My team love me and I love them. We actually have a lot of fun. We just got off a team meeting 5 minutes before this, and it was the funniest meeting ever. But we have a lot of fun.
A good, nice, close-knit team.
Yeah.
What about like freelancers and stuff like that as well? Do you sometimes outsource stuff to freelancers, or is it mainly just in-house with the team that you've got?
Yeah, no, it's in-house with the team. The only freelancers I use really are copywriters. We prefer to manage everything ourselves. So we get offers all the time. Well, we can do this and you can outsource. No, we've got a really good team, and it just, to me, it's about the quality of the work. You outsource it. Look, I could be a lot more profitable if I did things like that. But I like to manage it. We've got good checks and balances the way we run our team and our systems.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so other than websites and SEO, what are the other main services that you offer?
We have like modules, as we mentioned earlier. So we've got a whole range of modules which focus on a particular outcome. So lead generation is a module. And there's different ways to do lead generation. I mean, you know this better than most. I mean, hell, that's the core crux of your whole business and business model. And there's different ways to do that. The old free report model's been done to death, so it's got to be a really good offer. Back in 07, it was like 70% sign-up rate. Now you'd be lucky if it's 7% sign-up rate, because people have done it to death and done it badly, and there's a preconditioning, so it's got to be schmick. And we got some pretty sexy innovation there. We do Google Local My Business, because there's a massive opportunity for people to leverage from all the Google tools. We got a saying: play the game with Google and Google will play the game with you. You just got to use their tools, play the game with them. You will reap the rewards. The opportunity's never been better for local business owners than now. They really want to showcase local businesses, and that's a part of SEO. Sorry?
Sorry, I was just going to say, the problem is most of the businesses, they don't really understand those Google tools, do they?
No, they don't. They've got no idea. And that's what we actually pride ourselves on is we show people what we want to achieve and what we're going to do, and we help them to do what they can do, and then we get on with doing what they can't do. And we're quite good at explaining what it is. People don't need to know the techie side. They just need to get the gist of it. Hey, look, getting lots of Google reviews is going to help you in Google. Play the game with Google, Google will play the game with you. So getting reviews, okay, well, that's great. You say that, but how do I do that? So I help business owners just for free to show them the email that I send to people that prompts people, to give a review. We've got over 150 online reviews, not all in Google. We've got about 40 in Google, 40 in Facebook, 40 in LinkedIn and TrueLocal and other ones. But we've got a system. We've got a module called, guess what? Smarter Reviews.
Okay.
Everything in our business is got smarter. We do smarter chatbots, smarter social media. We've got
smarter
a product. Hey?
You got smarter email as well, haven't you?
We do. Very good. Good segue. Well done. And we've actually converted that now. We actually do it for the clients. It was a DIY system like MailChimp, where you log in and you could send your own. But look, and I know that so many listeners here would resonate with this. I've got a MailChimp account, but I haven't been in for a year or a month or whatever. People just don't do it. So we now do it for them. And it's not a big spend, and it means that they know it's going to go out every month like clockwork on whatever date they set. It's just going to happen. We even do the copywriting for it. So the client does not even have to write it. It's friggin' stellar.
A real done service. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. It gets actions, and people get a really good return on investment. They know it's going to work for them. So yeah. And we've evolved into a hosting and a managed support company. So I didn't, when I started hosting, it was not some of the hosting services that are around, but we've ended up running 4 servers I mentioned earlier, all dedicated servers, 2 in Perth, 2 in Sydney, running SSDs, so solid state drives, super quick, 64 gig of RAM for the techie heads out there. So super damn quick, super secure. We've just had a local music shop come to us this morning, actually, and we're going to be hosting their site. Their site just got hacked, and it's unhackable. It's actually broken. So he's having to get a rebuild, and we did warn him about 9 months ago that there was issues, and end result is he's lost his website in its entirety. So rebuild from the ground up. Anyway, lots of sad stories about that. It's like the elephant in the room. Not many webbies talk about the hosting and what goes on, but evidence of that is quite recently. What's the Garmin?
Oh yeah.
Garmin, the watches and the Fitbit thing, all that. Yeah, their website just got hacked in the last week.
Okay. And
they're being held to ransom. So if big tech companies like that can get hacked, small
Yeah.
business owners had better be on guard. And the thing is that a lot of small business owners go, oh yeah, but that's a big company. Of course they got hacked, but people don't realise why websites get hacked. There's two main reasons. If they can get access to the emailing part of the hosting account, that's where a lot of spam emails come from. They get access to that so they can then send out emails unfettered. Well, they can't with ours, even if it got hacked. We've got controls on that. If it sends out 500 emails too quickly, the hosting actually shuts it down. So we've got safeguards there. The other reason that websites get hacked is for links. So links to their dodgy website. They put a link in the website. They hide the link. So if it's a good hack, you won't even know it's hacked. You won't even know there's a link. And there's a link to their dodgy website, which is bringing them traffic and bringing them Google juice mainly, Google rankings. So yeah, it's a big subject and something we take seriously because we actually host and manage one of Australia's largest cleaning franchises. So we do their stuff. We also manage Perth's largest RTO provider, multi-million-dollar organisation. So we work with mums and dads, and we work with some pretty large companies as well.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about SEO. So this is sort of a topic that I don't really know much about, I'll be honest. But I do know that like over the last 10 years or so, it's evolved and changed a lot. And the methods for successful SEO 10 years ago are a lot different to what they are now. So the question is, what are the most important things the listeners need to focus on to make SEO work in 2020 and beyond?
Yep, cool. Good question and quite simple to answer. And it's not that hard. So the title and description of your website, Google come to your website, right? And so how do they work out what your website wants to be known for as opposed to somebody else's? Same industry, different industry, doesn't matter. How do they determine that? It's the title of the website. So when you're in the browser, you're in Chrome or Firefox or whatever, right at the very top in the browser tab, quite often you'll see websites where it's actually got the word home, right? So that's the title. So you're telling Google, because that's what the first thing that Google look at. So you're telling Google you want to be known for home, along with the other trillion website. Okay. And the second thing is the description. You've got to get those right. It's called metadata. It's not complex. It's the title and description of the website. And then there's the keywords on the home page. And keywords, some people go, oh, slip into a trance when they hear the word keyword. It's not hard. What is the word that people are using to find your sort of business? But you need to validate the keywords. And look, I even have some of our SEO clients, and we've got literally dozens of SEO clients where they sometimes go, oh, I'm not on page number 1 for this key term. Well, okay, is anybody searching for that key term? Yes or no? Because sometimes the key term that you're thinking people will use, they're not using. Yeah. We've got a classic case study where we were working with an aged carer in Melbourne. This a number of years ago. And we asked the clients always, what keywords do you think you should rank for? And they just, put down whatever. And this particular client, Dennis, he put down 29 keywords. And we invalidated 19 of those. So in other words, 19 of those keywords people were not actually using. We were left with 10 keywords, which we call seed keywords, because we know people are using those. So we use those seed keywords, and then we find words around them, related to them, that might include, there might be 2 or 3 word terms, but include one of those seed keywords. So then we've got a keyword bank. And one of those keywords was domiciliary care. Remember, this is an aged care business in Melbourne. So one of those key terms was domiciliary care. What the heck? I've never even heard of the word. Yeah. He disputed. He said, no, nobody's using that term in my industry. No way. Well, 320 people in Melbourne, in your area, are using that term. Yeah. So what people have got to realise is that Google don't actually rank websites at all. They rank web pages. Each page has to have its own identity, its own term, its own identification. So in this particular case, he didn't have a page for that term. So we created a new page, domiciliary care, and we apply what we call a rule of 3. So domiciliary care was the search term. Then we used domestic help domestic care. So 3 versions of the same word. And we ended up with that page on page 1 in Google. Now, 320 searches per month. You imagine 10% of that brings traffic to your website. Well, that's 32 extra visits per month. Yeah. And it might be 32 actual inquiries. Now, even if you only convert 10% of that into new business, that's 3.2 new clients every single month, guaranteed, for a one-off investment. You know, it just makes sense. And that's how it's structured. That's how it's done. It's actually that simple. It's a, you know, logical approach you've got to have. And people have got to invest into it to get it right. Otherwise, their website's out in internet flotsam. Quite a few business owners just thought, just in the last month, I must have run into at least 3, if not 4 people who have had literally a dozen web pages on page 2 in Google. And they've gone, oh, that's so bad. That's so good. I get excited about that stuff. Yeah. You're on page 2, because when you think about it, where are you originally? Where do you start from? Nowhere. You're nowhere. You're not even in the top 10. Forget it. So you've got to get into the top 10. Then you got to get into the top 3. Then you got to get onto page 1. So these people were not only in the top 3, they're actually page 2. So they were so close to success, but they had no idea. And we can run tests and audits. So, you know, if any listener here wants to, you know, get a keyword check or audit check or whatever, you know, more than willing to do that. Because sometimes business owners don't know how close they are to, you know, that major success, that major breakthrough. So, yeah, it's quite, as you can hear, it's quite an exciting area for me.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so tell us about one of your most successful SEO campaigns and why you believe it performed so well.
Look, it's a bit of a tough question to answer, because some of my clients will give us rave reviews, but some of them don't want us to talk too much about their business because they just want to remain under the radar. But you know, we handle a really large Perth accounting firm. We handle their SEO. We handle the largest RTO in Perth, and I mean, these guys do a few $1 million a year. Yeah. They're doing in excess of 20K a day in online sales. And so they're commanding the traffic there. But a couple of local businesses that I know that would be totally cool with us mentioning is a little old business out in Midland Tow Bars. This guy's traffic, organic traffic and rankings over some of the bigger players. This is just a family business, you know, in the backwaters of Midland, and he just gets massive traffic and outranking all of the other larger companies that probably spend substantially more on SEO. And it's just being consistent. There's so much to SEO. I mean, I mentioned the, you know, title and description as one thing, but there's so many other things, you know, there's backlinks, there's all this other stuff. So it's being consistent, you know, you don't have to spend a fortune, but you need to be consistent. And one of the things that I've done is I've broken SEO. You know, look, I'm a real systems freak. I analyze everything and I break everything down into steps and processes. And so I've sorted SEO into static and dynamic. So you've got static as a one-off event. So it's like I discussed about setting up your title description, putting keywords on the page. When it's done, it's done. Static event, finished. Then there's a whole heap of other dynamic stuff, and I won't go into that. There's schema, there's rich snippets, there's all this other techie stuff. That's where the gold is, just investing in a regular amount of money on a monthly basis, just to, you know, command your position. Does that make sense? Another one is, a local one is U-Resin. They're a local craft business. It's just gone insane. So their parent company, it's all owned by the one family. They provide industrial resin products for the mining sector. So you're talking big dollar products, right? Yeah. And anyway, the daughter wanted to have a business. She was a part of my Smart Tank Mastermind. They launched this craft resin business, and through COVID, their business has tripled in the last 4 months because everybody's stuck at home, so they want to play with stuff. So their business is going off. But as the foundation for them actually doing so well is we got them on page #1 in Google for so many key terms prior to COVID. So so that business is humming along as a result. Then we've got lots of tradies on our books as well that we do SEO work for. So yeah, we do well with SEO.
Nice. Okay. So what are your favorite online tools and platforms that you use to run your business? I know that WordPress is definitely going to be one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, look, we only build in WordPress. We use a front-end page editor because WordPress comes in different flavors. There literally is. There's a few out there. So ours is branded Smart Page Builder. Everything's smarter or smarter. But it's a front-end page editor. It means that it's really easy. You can add whole sections in the home page. In 10, 15 minutes flat. It's just beautiful to work with. So you know that you're future-proofing your website. Because I think the saddest things, and look, themes are great. We use themes for many years. Client come on and we find out what they want, and then we find the theme that closest matches what they want, because the theme is a fixed style. But we went away from themes about 3.5 years ago. So every website, even $1,100 website, is custom designed to suit the business. And it also means with a front-end page editor that you can further evolve. There's no limitations. It just makes helping people grow their business so much easier. So that's our core platform. From a project management point of view, because web building is serious project management. You know, you've got to get a lot of information from the client. You've got to communicate. So we use Teamwork, which is brilliant software. And we primarily use it for the project management, for time tracking, and for client communications. Because I think there's nothing worse than say if I emailed a client and CC'd my project manager in, the client only replies rather than reply all. My project manager misses out on information day number one. Project goes to crap. So by using this for communications, we know that everything is tracked, conversations are threaded, much like Facebook, really. You make a status update and everything's threaded. You can see who said what when, so that everybody's accountable. So Teamwork works a treat. Trello, it's got to be one of my favourite tools for, and I've done, 5, 6 videos on Trello and the attributes. So we use that mainly for task assignment and task management. And then the big one for me is systemizing. I systemize everything. So, and I use Process Street for that. So there's, for our web builds, from the very first welcome email and the project setup to the actual sign off and handover, there's 386 steps.
And it's all documented.
Yeah, it's all documented. There's pre-written emails. You just click on a button, an email pops out, it sends it out, it marks it off as being sent. It CCs people. It's just a beautiful thing. So I love systems and processes. Yeah, and you can't have a fully successful business without having that level of sophistication and systemization in your business.
Yeah, agree. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So what are some of the biggest and most common mistakes that you see business owners making?
Not realizing that websites are dynamic, thinking that when they built it, that's it, job done, thumbs up and walk off. Nah, not at all. And you would see this with the funnels you build too, Scott. You scope out the job, you identify the audience, you talk to your client, you find out more about their audience, you create an avatar in your mind, and you target everything to them. And that's great. So you build that, and then you get traffic to it via whatever means you're getting traffic. And you get some results, and that's great. But is that the end of it? Well, no, it's not. No, it's only the very beginning. You've got to refine it. It's like, and we did a Facebook ad campaign just last week where for this quite amazing product where the guy can put a covering on a bench top, make it look like slate. Well, in fact, it is slate, 7 mil thick, so he can put a covering. But the point being that he was targeting women over whatever the age was, 40, I think it was. And then he realised, hang on, men, why did I exclude men? And so we set it up based on the information we got from the client, but we've got to refine that. And we're finding now we're getting double the clicks, go figure. It's realising that websites are dynamic. You've got to continually evolve. That's my A-grade client. And that is the next biggest and common mistake that I see business owners making, is not focusing on the A-grade client. And I think that we're scared because, oh yeah, but we'll take that job because, I don't want to miss out on the money, which I understand, and we've been in that position. And you do that, to keep the cash flow going. But at the same time, we've all got to work towards only working with A-grade clients.
Yeah. Makes
Because
sense.
sometimes you just, you got a D-grade client and it's just, it's hard work. And you look back at the actual logistics of it, how long it took you to deliver and all the costs and everything else. And you find you weren't really in the sweet spot as far as profits go. And, we're not doing this for love. We might love our work, but, we're all going to retire one day. So we need the money.
Well, that's a good segue into the next question, which is what is the biggest challenge that you consistently have to face while running your digital agency? So that's probably one of them.
Yeah. Look, it is. Managing time is a constant battle.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that my next statement, so many business owners will relate to. And that is, you're really busy, right? You start off the day and you're really busy and you get to the end of the day and, oh my God, you were so busy, but what did you actually get done?
Yeah.
And understanding why you're doing each task. There's no use just having a task list and doing it all if you don't have a look at why you're doing it. Because is it really a high priority activity? Is it really going to move your business forward? Because I think the biggest, as entrepreneurs, ideas are not a problem. We got no shortage of ideas. It's whether we should invest the time into following through with those ideas is the question. I think also knowing when to do what. If your highest productivity time, which most people is the morning until midday, early afternoon, then do the stuff that most matters. I actually adopt a rule of 1+3. So I have one major activity and 3 minor activities that I want to achieve each day. And they're things I have to get done. Like there's no ifs, buts, has to be done by the end of the day. And I think that's where a lot of business owners go wrong too. They got this big hit list, I'm going to do that today, like totally unrealistic. Stop being silly. Have it on your list by all means, but have it listed, but not on your that day list. Do the 1+3. And then, questioning why you're doing it, double guess yourself. Was it double guess yourself? Yeah, you know what I mean. Whether you should be. And the other biggest challenge is systemizing, making sure that if there's something you're consistently doing, get a system for it, and see if you can't delegate that and refine that. That's how I built my team. And by being able to have a system with checks and balances so I can delegate it, because one of the biggest problems, of course, is delegating a task. And anybody that has a team, even if it's only a part-timer, if you delegate that task and that person then comes back with lots of questions around that task, well, you sort of got a problem there because you haven't really delegated it. You either haven't equipped them with the knowledge that they need to fulfill the task, or you don't have a system by which they can follow to complete the task, or you haven't trained them right.
Yeah.
My team, if I delegate a task and they come back to me with a question, they know the rule is you've got to have 2 solutions. Don't come back to me with a question. Don't want to know. What is the solution? What are our options? If you've got one solution, fine. Just double checking with me that that's what I want to happen. Or, well, we could do this or we could do that. See, otherwise I've got to examine the problem. I haven't really delegated. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so with an eye to the future, what are you curious about or researching right now regarding digital marketing?
So 2 things we're playing with a lot, and it's just current, is chatbots and online reviews. So chatbots, look, it's the world of instant. Everybody wants instant answers. And if they're on Facebook or a website, having a chatbot that you can train, and there's some pretty cool technology out there. Where you can train it. We're working with a security door company, and if they mention the word quote or price, a couple other terms, can't remember what they are off the top of the head, then the bot comes back with an answer saying, so you would like us to give you an online quote? And they click yes or no. We're making it easy for the person and it's instant. Well, there's about a 10-second delay because the idea is to try and lead people to believe that it's actually a human interacting with them. You know, so you want to mimic that. You don't be deceitful about that, but that's the idea. And then, you know, so then they answer yes or no. And then so this guy in particular wants to slow down on doing the online measure and quote, because he's running around all day. If he's got a 50% conversion, he's just spent 8 hours running around doing quotes. Well, quite often he can do a quote by just having a photo of the door. It's not rocket science. They want this style security door, and oh yeah, it's a standard 820 door. He doesn't need to go on site. So we've now, after we ask the question yes or no, would you like an online quote, or would you rather just have a online estimation, on-site quote or online estimation? And they answer that question, and then the bot asks them the question. We'll simply load a photo or the measurements of your door. So it's just slashed this guy's call out time dramatically. Like, it's a game changer for him. You know, it really is. And yeah, it's all automated. Yeah. And if the bot gets confused or whatever, it then says, just hold on a moment. We're just getting one of our team members to be able to address that correctly, or, you know, whatever it says. So it switches from bot technology to human, and then somebody will respond in a timely manner. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's exciting. I love playing with this stuff, and then my team do it, but they show me how it works because I love the techie side. But yeah, they do it. But and the other thing is, you know, what am I curious about or researching right away is online reviews. You know, it's a passion of mine, and it's born from two reasons. That, you know, the more online reviews we get, the better we look to clients. So you're lowering the resistance of people because, hey, you know, we've got 150 5-star online reviews, so we must be good. You know, that's across lots of different social platforms. And but automating that as well, because, you know, lots of people know the merit of getting reviews, but they struggle with getting them. And so I've developed a system, and guess what we've called this package? Come on. Smarter reviews. Of course. And yeah, so it's a pretty cool system, and we've got some templated emails. We've got a step-by-step 10-step checklist. So, you know, because getting a review on your website is fantastic. Got a review on my website. And then we've got an email that you can send out saying, hey, thanks for that review on my website. What we'd really like now is to get that on Google, and you make it easy for people. You copy and paste the testimonial into the email message. There's a link to the Google platform, and hey presto. So the person gets the email, clicks the link, copy, paste, done. You're going to increase your Google reviews. Same for Facebook, same for LinkedIn recommendations. You know, real high authority and authenticity with any of your social platform reviews. So they're worth getting at. So we're launching that very soon. So we're investing a lot of time into that.
Okay, interesting. Cool. All right. So who are your marketing idols or the biggest influences on your career?
Look, I looked at this question. I thought, oh God, I don't know. But I've come up with three. So there's a guy that lives, well, he's actually over east. I'll mention this guy first, Taki Moore. You would know of Taki? Yeah.
I've heard of him,
Yeah, so Taki focuses on business coaches, and that's not what I am. But I love his marketing now, so I like his manner of delivery. He's well respected. He comes out with some really good points. So Taki Moore's one. Another guy that's a US guy who Mike, I can't say his surname, Michalowicz, Michaelowicz. So Michaelowicz, Michael, yeah. And he's written some great books, and really active business mentor. So, and the last one is one I've come across recently, and he's actually based here in Perth, and you'd want to look him up if you haven't heard of him. Simon Bowen. And he's based here in Perth. He teaches all over the world. And his model is, I'll have to Google it actually. One of his recent products is how to sell online via Zoom. So he's really hit the ground running. The online, what is it, Simon Bowen? Looking it up. The models method. And so his method of selling using drawing methodology is just absolutely brilliant. It is a game changer as far as helping people to sell. And so, yeah, quite an inspirational guy, brilliant model. And he does regular webinars, and I jump on them and pick up bits and pieces. Love to do his program, just not right now.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool. So just to wrap this up, where can people go to find out more about your services and or your products?
So simplest way is to go to smarterwebsites.com.au. So smarterwebsites with an S.com.au, and you can find everything there. Give me a call. We've got an offer for an audit. So two things we've got going on special at the moment is an audit on your website, totally free, no obligation. It's not in gobbledygook speak. It's in quite simple layman's terms. It's a graphical representation. You can scroll through. You might get your own Webby or yourself to do some of the fixes yourself. And if it adds value and makes a difference in your business, like I'm wrapped. If you need help, give us a shout out. We can do stuff for you. But if it just helps you, then you're more likely to give a referral to us or talk about us or whatever. The other big offer and it's currently on my website too, is right at the top, you can register for our 100 Days to World Domination series. So, yeah, look, that was a great idea, I think, but then I had to write 100 blog posts. So one of the things that I know whose idea was that, right? I thought of it and I thought, wow, because I love educating people. I love it, like I said earlier, helping people to do what they can do, and then we can do what they can't do. And it ends up a win-win because they actually get far better results. And we got all this knowledge and I'm sharing it all the time. And I thought, if I can get that into a format that's a series, and so we were going to do 30 days and then it got out of whack and we ended up 100. But I went overboard. I actually did 111 plus 13 introductions for 13 categories. So there's 100 and whatever out there. But you register for that and and these are things, and I have smart actions. So I talk about a particular subject and then I say, right, this is now what you need to go to do. So I'm actually showing people how to do stuff. So it's practical, will help you move your business forward tips.
Yeah, full of value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Well, thanks a lot for your time, Peter. I really appreciate that. And thanks for sharing your insights there and your extensive wisdom. So, yeah, we'll catch up with you soon.
No worries at all. Excellent. Good talking to you, Scott. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Peter.